Dub, dub, da, dub, da, dub, da, dub, dub. Yes.
One day as I the dab they go, now I see my neighbor on top electric pole. Don't be how my hold so.
Before, so
Climb every day. Come on electric bill, you not gree pay.
waiting concern you for there. I beg you, come over here.
Okay, oh, I don't talk my own. As I dab reach house. Yeah! Fire! Fire! My brand new flat screen.
Hold up.
Waiting concern you for there. I beg you, come over here.
Government property, na my property. If you don't come down now, I go report.
No be only report. Na report card.
Dub, 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 da, dub, dub, da, dub, 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 da, dub, da, dub, da, dub, dub. Yes.
Good afternoon and welcome to News on the Hour. My name is Segun Funmi Owoyedokun. The president of the African Bar Association, Mr. Abneba Owafo, has said that the loopholes on the anti-corruption war led by the president Muhammadu Buhari's administration were inevitable. Owafo said this was because Buhari's government would be the first to express seriousness about fighting corruption in the country Nigeria. While commending the federal government's anti-corruption war, Owafo also said that it was high time Nigerians were made up to support Buhari in purging the country of graft. However, Owafo advised anti-corruption agency, especially the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), to improve the method of investigation in the anti-graft war. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has reviewed as part of effort of the House to improve the nation's revenue sources. 8 lawmakers related to the maritime sector were undergoing amendment to position it for the optimum performance. While speaking at the public hearing organized by the House Committee on Port, Harbour and Waterways and 8 maritime industry-related bills in the National Assembly, the Speaker noted that when passed, they will address issues that have impeded the ability of the sector to be a major source of foreign exchange in the country's revenue. He explained that the bills are indeed very important, and more so now that the country is rethinking over the economic master plan with the aim of avoiding a future relapse into the kind of nail-biting recession which has just existed from by identifying and strengthening other sources of government revenue. The maritime sector is one of such key sources of huge revenue, especially of such needed foreign exchange, which potentials have unfortunately been grossly underutilized. However, in his presentation, the Minister of Transportation, Chibuke Amechi, called for an outright repeal of the National Inland Waterways Authority Act as the position of the executive hand. On politics, the governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, has said that he would contest in court his removal from office during his first tenure. Speaking in Ado-Ekiti, Fayose, who is explaining why he chose to put his image on a campaign poster across the state, said that the Apex Court has said that his impeachment in the year 2006 was illegal. He will then have to approach the same court to interpret what that ruling meant, and also consider seeking a re-election come the year 2018. He emphasized that the case as to whether he was entitled to complete his tenure or not must first be determined before there would be another governorship election in the state in the year 2018. It will be recalled that Ayodele Fayose got sworn in for the first tenure in the year 2003, but got his tenure terminated through impeachment on the 16th of October 2006. The Governing Council of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, has ordered the reinstatement of the bossa of the institution, Mr. Emmanuel Oreshegun. Oreshegun and the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Adebi Daramola, were earlier suspended by the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, following the arraignment at the Ondo State High Court by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over alleged financial misconduct. The Vice-Chancellor, whose tenure expires on the 23rd of May 2017, was reinstated last week. In a statement issued by the Head Media and Protocol Unit of the University, Mr. Adegbero Adebanjo, the Council reinstated the bossa at its meeting. Two fallen peacekeepers from Nigeria, Commander Christopher Ademo Abe and Sergeant Mayem Norbert, among the 117 that would be honored with the posthumous medal. The Dag Amasco's medal is a posthumous award given by the United Nations to military personnel, police or civilian who lose their lives while serving in a United Nations peacekeeping operation. The medal is named after the Dang, the second Secretary General of the United Nations, who died in a plane crash in what is now known as Zambia in September 1961. United Nations headquarters would observe the 2017 International Day of the United Nations Peacekeepers on the 24th of May. The federal government has reeled out the achievement it recorded in the justice sector of the economy, with a confirmation that it recovers the sum of 5.9 billion naira and another $666,776 within its first 2 years in office. Within the period under review, the Muhammadu Buhari sealed the Memorandum of Understanding with more than 6 countries to enable it to track and recover funds looted from the country. The countries are United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, Switzerland, and Italy. The government said it was vigorously pursuing the recovery of looted funds from the United States of America, Ireland, the island of Jersey, and France. This information is contained in a document released by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and the Ministry of Justice, showcasing the feat recorded by the Buhari administration since inception in the year 2015. The 19-page document shows that the recovered amount, 90 billion naira, was voluntarily returned by looters, 50 billion naira paid as fine by MTN, while 7 billion naira and the sum of $10 billion were recovered from private residents in the country. The quantity of food intake does not determine how healthy one will be. What determines your well-being when it comes to diet is whether you are well-nourished or malnourished. Malnutrition occurs when a person does not receive adequate nutrients from diet, and these causes damage to the vital organs and functions of the body. Temitope Oladipo has more of the details.
Malnutrition has been described as a condition that develops when the body does not get the right amount of the vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients it needs to maintain healthy tissue and organ function. Malnutrition occurs in people who are either undernourished or overnourished. Undernutrition is a consequence of consuming too few essential nutrients or using or excreting them more rapidly than they can be replaced. Mrs. Olatokun Oluwatosin, a medical personnel, gave one of the causes of malnutrition as ignorance of what to take at a particular time. She explained
Is a broad term that could be used for someone who is either who have undernutrition or overnutrition. What do I mean by this? When we are talking of the term malnutrition, it could mean that the person is overweight or underweight. Now, what are the causes of this? When one has malnutrition or when one has malnutrition either on the other side, it could be that the person is ignorant of what to take at a particular time. It is not enough for us to just eat, but it is enough for us to take the essential diet, to take it appropriately and as it's supposed to be. Undernutrition the causes of undernutrition could be due to financial status. It could be due to disease condition, in which person won't be able to eat what is supposed to be eating. And if it's financial status, probably person has probably person doesn't have much to sustain himself or herself to eat well. And also on the other side, which is overnutrition, when the person is obese, when the person is not fit, I mean health-wise, it could be the person is ignorant, it could be the type of work that the person does.
To Mrs. Olatokun, she said, adequate diet and eating in the right proportion are some of the treatments for malnutrition.
Symptoms that we see when one is undernourished, the person will be underweight, and this could be done by doing the body mass index, which will help know if the person is, which will help know how it is, and this will also help in the treatment modality. What are the things that we can do to treat one that is suffering from malnutrition or overnutrition? One, adequate diet. A timetable can be by medical personnel to know the quantity that will be taken in the right proportion. And also, there are some medications that one that has no appetite to eat can also take in order to take away.
Of Children's Fund, UNICEF, had said that of the 2.5 million children who needed treatment for malnutrition, only about 500 were treated, leaving 2 million untreated due to paucity of funds. According to UNICEF nutrition specialist, Mrs. Philomena Irene, although statistics have shown that malnutrition is more in the north, there are pockets of malnutrition in every part of the country. She said, population of Nigerian children that is sick is more than the population of some countries. It has been said that as little as $5 was needed to prevent malnutrition, while $72 could conveniently treat a malnourished child. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has disclosed that no less than $144 million was required to treat 2 million children suffering from acute malnutrition in the country. And Nigerians are hoping that the federal government will do the needful to close gap in child malnutrition. Temitope Oladipo reporting for New Frontiers Television.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on to business. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachego, has vowed to resign if the country fails to attain its self-sufficiency in refining of petroleum products by the year 2019. Kachego, who spoke in London, also stated that they recently signed an agreement with the international oil giant Ajib for the firm to build a refinery in Nigeria. Kachego also said that the industry was totally dysfunctional, considering the fact that Nigeria exports crude oil and imports refined product despite having refineries. But he stated that the effort were being made to revive obsolete facilities in the sector. Power generating companies have put the outstanding debt being owed them at 504 billion naira and demanded that it will be paid to them to continue generating electricity. This is coming as the power distribution company have also called for the implementation of a cost-relative electricity tariff for end users as captured in the last tariff review carried out by the Nigerian Regulatory Commission. The DISCO haven't argued that a cost-relative tariff will be about 68 naira per kilowatt per hour as against the 25 naira per kilowatt to an hour that the largest percentage of electricity consumers across the country currently pay. The demand of the power firm were contained in a communique issued at the end of the second quarter market participant key stakeholder interactive forum, which was organized by the market operator in Nigeria. However, GENCO called for the centralization of the market collection and appropriate disbursement based on the agreed percentage. The federal government of Nigeria has approved a new interest rate spread on the tax liability for the 2017 fiscal period. A statement from the Federal Ministry of Finance said that the new interest rate was approved by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun. The minister, according to the statement, said that the new interest rate on unpaid tax would now be 5% over the Central Bank of Nigeria's minimum rediscount rate for the year 2017. The CBN monetary policy rate currently stands at 14%, thus implying that with the 5% spread, tax defaulters would now have to pay an interest rate of 19% on tax debt. Adeosun, according to the statement, directed the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service to commence the implementation of the new interest rate on all the unpaid taxes from July 1st this year. She explained that the Section 32, subsection 1B of the Federal Inland Revenue Service Establishment Act 2007 empowered her to approve the new interest rate. We'll take a short break. When we return, foreign news comes up. Stay with us.
In the United Kingdom, at least 22 people, including some children, were killed and 59 were wounded when a suicide bomber struck as thousands of fans streamed out of a concert by U.S. singer Ariana Grande in the English city of Manchester on Monday. Prime Minister Theresa May called an emergency meeting with intelligence chiefs on the deadliest militant assault in Britain since 4 British Muslims killed 52 people in suicide bombings in London's transport system in July 2005. Police say the attacker detonated explosives shortly after 10:33 p.m. at Manchester Arena, which has a capacity to hold 21,000 people. Officers with knowledge of the situation said the bomber's explosives were packed with metal and bold. Meanwhile, London Mayor Sadiq Khan has said that more police have been ordered onto the street of the British capital. In a related development, U.S. President Donald Trump has extended his condolences to the victims of the Manchester suicide bombing that killed 22 people and said those behind the attack were evil losers. Trump, speaking after talks with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the town of Bethlehem in the occupied West Bank, said the United States stands in absolute solidarity with the British people. British Prime Minister May said the incident was being assault in Britain since 4 killed 52 people in suicide bombing in July 2005. And on to Germany, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has expressed shock and sorrow at the attack at the concert in the British city of Manchester, which killed at least 22 people. Such inconceivable deeds. She stated that the suspected terrorist attack will only strengthen Germany's resolve to continue to work together with its British friends against those who plan and carry out such inhumane deeds. And back to the United States, U.S. President Donald Trump has traveled in a high-security convoy to Bethlehem in the Israeli-occupied West Bank today to discuss Middle East peace with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Trump is expected to hold around 40 minutes of talks with Abbas, whom he met in the White House earlier this month, before the two issued separate statements. Trump will then travel back to Jerusalem to visit Israel's Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial and deliver a speech at the Israel Museum. Ahead of his visit to the Middle East, the second leg of a 9-day tour in Saudi Arabia, and will move on to the Vatican, Italy and Belgium. Administration officials indicated that Trump
news on the house from New Frontiers Television. And coming up next is Sport News with Adebola Adeleke. Stay with us.
In football, David Moyes will struggle to get another job in the Premier League and might end up in China after resigning as Sunderland boss, according to former Blackburn Rovers striker Chris Sutton. Moyes, 55, stepped down on Monday after just one season in charge. The Black Cats' relegation to the Championship was confirmed in April, with Moyes' side finishing bottom after only 6 games. Sutton said the squad would be able to find a new role outside the top flight. After 11 years in charge of Everton, Moyes left in 2013 to replace Sir Alex Ferguson. David Moyes will struggle to get another job in the Premier League and might end up in China after resigning as Sunderland boss, according to former Blackburn Rovers striker Chris Sutton. Moyes, 55, stepped down on Monday after just one season in charge. The Black Cats' relegation to the Championship was confirmed in April, with Moyes' side finishing bottom after only 6 games. Sutton said the squad would be able to find a new role outside the top flight. After 11 years in charge of Everton, Moyes left in 2013 to replace Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, but was sacked after 12 months into a 6-year deal at Old Trafford. He was also dismissed after a year in charge of his next club, Spanish side Real Sociedad, before taking over at the Stadium of Light when Sam Allardyce left to become England manager. Arsenal had become the latest club to be linked with impressive Nigerian winger Erin Onyekuru. The Gunners are believed to have held talks with the representatives of the player. The teenager's performance in recent months in the Belgian Pro League for KAS Upin has had some of the European outfits tracking him, and now the Gunners have been named as one of such clubs showing interest in the winger. According to reports in England, the North London club have showed interest in Onyekuru, and his representatives are also open to discussion with the former English Championship. Despite genuine interest from other English clubs like Swansea City and West Ham United in recent days, the Upin winger representatives are believed to be open to sounding out Gunners before other suitors. However, the snag in the whole matter could be the lack of international, which could make getting him a work permit from the British Home Office difficult. But Arsenal could still face a battle for the Nigerian. Some are very keen on landing Onyekuru and could put in a bid this week for him with Upin. The KAS Upin man is expected to join up with his country team, the Super, and could feature in his first international game. Onyekuru, a big player of Arsenal, has scored 25 goals and provided 14 assists for Upin this season. Former MotoGP champion Nicky Hayden has died at 35, 5 days after being involved in a crash while cycling. The American suffered serious cerebral damage after colliding with a car on the Rimini coastline in Italy on Wednesday, 17th of May. The 2006 MotoGP championship winner had been in the sensitive care unit of Cesina's Maurizio Buffalini Hospital. A hospital statement issued on Thursday said Hayden has suffered a serious polytrauma, which is a medical term to describe the condition of a person who has multiple traumatic injuries. Hayden, who was nicknamed the Kentucky Kid, had competed for Red Bull Honda in the World Superbike Championship in Italy on the 14th of May. Adebola Adeleke reporting for New Frontiers Television Station.
That ends the news on the hour. My name is Shegun Fumi Oyedokun. Thanks for staying with us. Good afternoon.